Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We're going to continue reading with Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 14, where Narad Muni is explaining to Yudhishthir Maharaj the duties of the Grihast. So we heard, does anyone remember what we spoke of last time?
Hare Krishna.
Hare
You
Krishna.
spoke that Narad Muni spoke that we should not worry about our material necessities and we should get what we are supposed to get, and we should only cultivate spiritual knowledge and do devotion and get attracted to Krishna somehow or the other. And we were about, like, Krishna is from Srimad Bhagavatam, so we should read, we should chant in association of Krishna devotees, and we will get attached to Krishna somehow. So that's what it was most important that struck me in the last class.
Thank you. So, speaking of getting attached to Krishna with Srimad Bhagavatam, I recently heard this pastime about the queens of Krishna. After Krishna left the world, the queens were very sad because Krishna had left, and they couldn't give up their lamentation, which is natural. So somehow they came to Vrindavan, and over there they saw Kalindi. Kalindi is one of the wives of Krishna, but she was not like this, so sad like them. She was still looking blissful. So they asked her. Kalindi is another name for Jamuna Devi, right? So they asked her, how come you don't feel separation from Krishna, our dear husband? So Kalindi told them, you need to hear Bhagavatam. Uddhav is here nearby. Uddhav was in Kusum Sarovar. So she told them, you'll hear the Bhagavatam from Uddhav. And they heard. Uddhav that time told Maharaj Parikshit, you make arrangements so that Kali does not disturb us, Kalyug. So, and I'm going to recite the Bhagavatam to the queens. So Parikshit Maharaj said, hey, even I want to hear Bhagavatam. So Uddhav tells him, you will hear, but in good time. You will hear from Sukadev Goswami. Now I will speak to the queens. So Parikshit Maharaj protected them from Kalyug. And for 1 month, they heard the Bhagavatam from Uddhav. And they were so happy. They were so blissful. These queens, they were demigoddesses. They were not ordinary human beings. They were demigoddesses. After they heard Bhagavatam, they realized their spiritual nature. They realized their spiritual identity. And they went to Golok Vrindavan. They went back home, back to Godhead, to be with Krishna. Okay. So we'll come to today's text then.
Hare Krishna, Shilpa ji. So this is not the Uddhav Gita, not the Uddhav Gita, right?
No.
Gita is what he heard from Krishna, right?
Yeah.
So this is
Uddhav Gita's no.
like what he heard from Krishna, but this is like Srimad Bhagavatam that he's telling the queens, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's right.
okay.
And there is a deity also of Uddhav at Kusum Sarovar that he is having the Bhagavatam in his hand. Kusum Sarovar is in Govardhan. We just did the Govardhan Puja a few days ago. Kusum Sarovar is also there in Govardhan. Uddhav is living there in Govardhan as a creeper because when he went to Vrindavan, people thought he's coming to teach the gopis. Actually, Krishna sent him to Vrindavan to learn from the gopis how to love Krishna, to learn what is actually love of Krishna. And when he saw the gopis' love for Krishna, their attachment to Krishna, their madness kind of, for Krishna. They were so utterly devastated that Krishna was not there with them. He wanted to take dust from their lotus feet, but he knew, because Uddhav is celebrated as a very knowledgeable person, um, you know, a great in philosophy, great in knowledge. He's the disciple of Brihaspati. So he knew that the gopis, they are simple village girls. They will feel shy to give him the dust of his lotus feet. They won't give him. So he prayed that I want to become a bush here in Vrindavan, so that when the gopis are just passing by, somehow I can get the dust of their lotus feet. So Uddhav is there. If you go to Kusum Sarovar, over
Mm.
there is a small place, a small temple where Uddhav is holding the Bhagavatam, and he's there in the form of a creeper. In relation to Kusum Sarovar,
Mm.
also Narad Muni, he wanted to serve Radha and Krishna. So Narad Muni, he wanted to serve the divine couple. He enters the Kusum Sarovar and he comes out as Naradiya Gopi. He becomes a Gopi, Naradiya, because he wants to serve the Radha and Krishna. And he serves them in the Ras Leela. And some acharyas say that Narad Muni is still serving in both the places, as Narad Muni also and as Naradiya Gopi also. But some acharyas say that after that, Narad Muni again entered the Kusum Sarovar and he came out. So he entered as Naradi Gopi and he came out again as Narad Muni. So some acharyas say he's like doing both the services as Narad and Naradiya. Some acharyas say that after he served them as Naradiya Gopi, then he again transformed himself back to Narad Muni, and then he's all over the universe singing the glories of Krishna. So this was recently I was hearing in context with Govardhan, because Kusum Sarovar is just there at Govardhan. Okay. So coming to today's text. Any comments, questions? What we just heard?
No, thank you. That was like really, really touching and like very important because Uddhav is a very, very pure devotee. So even hearing about him is so purifying.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we see that how the queens, they heard Bhagavatam. Kalinti told them, you hear Bhagavatam. So we can see the importance of hearing Bhagavatam. To get Krishna, they were missing Krishna so much. And Kalinti told them, you hear Bhagavatam. Yeah. So important to hear Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada said, if we study Bhagavatam sincerely, we'll find Krishna in the pages of Bhagavatam. Okay, so we'll continue with today's reading.
I just wanted to say one thing that this is like, like every morning. Previously, there was no reason to wake up, or, we would delay 10 minutes, half an hour. Oh, I'll wake up in half an hour more, doesn't matter. But, like, as you said, that this is the nectar, I think this is like, we are so eagerly waiting for this 7 o'clock to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Even for us, like though we don't even understand, we are not completely pure, we don't even understand, we might make wrong interpretations or we might not even pronounce it properly, but still that that attachment is there in the association, that attachment is there that oh my god, let me finish everything by 7 so that I can sit and like chanting and everything finish so that we can sit and hear. So like this is the power of this Srimad Bhagavatam, practically seeing it. So
Yeah, even like however late as long as we sleep, but morning, yeah, we have to get up. Like it's like there, like
because that
automatically the
motivation
eyes
is there,
are
that motivation of to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, because it is
yes,
so
yes.
nectarian that oh no, cannot miss it.
I cannot, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That's when I feel the same.
And this feels like the special moment with Krishna.
Yeah.
all the other devotees. Yeah, it feels our moment with Krishna.
Yeah, that's what, no, reading the Bhagavatam, and you feel that you're getting closer, like you have
Yes.
that connection with Krishna. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, so wonderful. Jai. Srimad
So,
Bhagavatam ki jai. Shla Prabhupada ki jai. Tasmat Brahmana Deveshu
तस्मात् ब्राह्मणदेवेषु
Martyadeshu Yatharhataha
मर्त्यादिषु यथार्हतः
Teste Kamer Yajasvenam
नैस्ते कामैर्यजस्वेनं
Kshetragyam Brahmanan Anu.
Kshetra
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, my dear king, first offer prasad unto the brahmanas and the demigods, and after sumptuously feeding them, you may distribute prasad to the other living entities according to your ability. In this way, you will be able to worship all living entities, or in other words, the supreme living entity within every living entity. To distribute prasad to all living entities, the process is that, oh, did we read this already? Brahmanas, women, animals.
No,
No,
Yeah.
no, no.
no.
We
Narayan. Okay,
did
we did.
it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So to distribute prasad to all living entities, the process is that we must first offer prasad to the Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas. For the demigods are represented by the Brahmanas. In this way, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in everyone's heart, will be worshipped. So feeding the devotees. Yeah, cooking prasad, cooking food, first offer it to Krishna. Then give it to the devotees, and then Krishna is very satisfied. This is the Vedic system of offering prasad. Whenever there is a ceremony for distribution of prasad, the prasad is offered first to the brahmanas, then to the children and old men, then to the women, and then to animals like dogs and other domestic animals. When it is said that Narayan, the Supreme Being, is situated in everyone's heart, this does not mean that everyone has become Narayan or that a particular poor man has become Narayan. Such a conclusion is rejected herein. So here Narad Muni is saying that, oh, you feed prasad to everyone, and then the Paramatma who's there in everyone is going to be satisfied. But it doesn't mean that everyone has become Paramatma or everyone has become God or everyone has become Narayan. Nobody can become Narayan. Nobody can become God. Only God is always God. Narayan is always Narayan. Krishna is always Krishna. Nobody can become God. Okay. Paramatma is different than us. We are part and parcel. That's what we have to understand. And it's not that the poor man has become Narayan. No. Narayan is in everyone's heart. Paramatma is in the heart of the poor man. Doesn't mean that Paramatma is not in the heart of the rich man. He's also in the heart of the rich man, right? Why will the Paramatma say, I'm going to be in the heart only of the poor man and not the rich man? The poor man, rich man, animals, everyone is children of the Lord. So he's in the heart of everyone. Hope that's okay.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, going on then. Kuryad aparap pakshiyam
कुर्यादपरपक्षीयम्
Masi Prashtapade Dvija
मासि प्रोष्ठपति द्विज
Shradham Pitror Yatha Vittam
पितृ यथा वित्तम्
Tat Bandhunam Cha Vittavan.
बन्धूनां च वित्तवान्
A Brahman who is sufficiently rich must offer oblations to the forefathers during the dark moon fortnight in the latter part of the month of Bhadra. Similarly, you should offer oblations to the relatives of the forefathers during the Mahalaya ceremonies in the month of Ashvina. Okay. month of Ashwina. Sorry, this page could not be found. I was trying to see what reference is there, but I can't find the reference. Anyway, this is a ritual.
I can read. It is there in my the महालय पर्व अश्विन मास के कृष्ण पक्ष की अमावस्या को मनाया जाता है और वैदिक चांद वर्ष के अंतिम दिन का सूचक है.
Okay.
So
So
that's
this
only the
is,
Mahalaya Parv.
yeah, so this is the, but actually the best service we can do to our forefathers is if we can chant for them. You know, chant and offer the results to them. That's the best service. Then they don't need to be pending. They don't need to be waiting in that waiting room of Yamraj, waiting their judgment. They can already go on to the next body, already go on to do devotional service, or even go back home, back to Godhead, or get liberation. So, Ayene Vishuve Kuryad,
Ayane Vashuve Kuryat
Vyati Pate Dinashaye,
Yati Bhate Dinashe
Chandratityoparage cha,
Chandraditya Parage Cha
Dvadashayam Shavaneshu cha,
Dvadashayam Svaveneshu Cha
Tritiyayam Shukla Pakshe,
Tritiyayam Shukla Pakshe
Navam Yam Atha Kartike,
Navyam Atha Kartike
Chatashrishu Api Ashtakasu,
Chaturshishve Api Shashtakasu
Hemante Shishire Tatha,
Hemante Shishir Katha
Maghe cha Sita Saptam Yam,
Maghe Cha Sita Saptamyam
Magha Raka Samagame,
Magharaka
Samagame
Rakaya Chanu Matya cha,
Rakaya
Rakaya
Chanu Matyacha
Chanmatyascha
Masar Kshani Yutani Api,
Masakshani Yutani
Masani
Api
api
Dvadashyam Anuradha Syach,
Dashyam Anuradha Syach
Shrabanas Tisra Uttara,
Shashvanas Tistra Uttara
Tisrishva Ekadashi Vasu,
Shrishva Ekadashi
Ekadashi
Vasu
Vasu
Jan Marksha Shrona Yoga Yuk.
Janmarksha Shona Yoga Yog
One should perform the Shad ceremony on the Makar Sankranti, the day when the sun begins to move north, or on the Karkata Sankranti, the day when the sun begins to move south. One should also perform this ceremony on the Mesha Sankranti day and the Stula Sankranti day in the yoga named Gatipat, on that day in which 3 lunar tithis are conjoined during an eclipse of either the moon or the sun on the 12th lunar day and in the Shravan Nakshatra. One should perform this ceremony on the Akshay Tritiya day, on the 9th lunar day of the bright fortnight of the month of Kartik, on the 4 Ashtakas in the winter season and cool season, on the 7th lunar day of the bright fortnight of the month of Magh, during the conjunction of Magha Nakshatra and the full moon day, and on the days when the moon is completely full or not quite completely full, when these days are conjoined with the nakshatras from which the names of certain months are derived. One should also perform the Shad ceremony on the 12th lunar day when it is in conjunction with any of the nakshatras named Anuradha, Shravan, Uttara Falguni, Uttaras Shadha, or Uttara Bhadrapada. Again, one should perform this ceremony when the 11th lunar day is in conjunction with either Uttar Falguni, Uttara Shadha or Uttara Bhadrapada. Finally, one should perform this ceremony on days conjoined with one's own birth star, Janma Nakshatra, or with Shravan Nakshatra. The word Ayan means path or going. The 6 months when the sun moves towards the north are called Uttaranayan, or the northern part. And the 6 months when it moves south are called Dakshinayan, or the southern part. So this Uttaranayan, does anyone know when is it celebrated?
It is like
Makar
the
Sankranti. Makar
Kranti.
Sankranti.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
When
Makar
I
Sankranti.
think even Bhishma Dev gave up his body in this time, right?
That's right. He waited for the sun to start moving north. He waited because Bhagavad Gita was spoken somewhere in December. Then he waited till January. He was lying on the bed of arrows waiting for the sun to start moving north. So Makar Sankranti is in Jan, usually Jan 14th, I think. Makar Sankranti. So, okay, these are mentioned in Bhagavad Gita 8:24-25. The first day when the sun begins to move north and enter the zodiacal sign of Capricorn is called Makar Sankranti. The first day when the sun begins to move south and enter the sign of Cancer is called Karkata Sankranti. Okay, so Makar Sankranti is when it's going north. When it's going south, Karkata Sankranti. On these 2 days of the year, one should perform the Shraddh ceremony. I never knew that. I used to think Shraddh is only done in those 15 days of Shraddh, the month that comes. Anyway,
And we also do, like
huh?
in our, we also do 2 days, but that is the day that they died, the tithi that they died.
Okay.
So like 2 times. Like my mother-in-law, she does twice. So one is in the Shraddh, the tithi that they left the body, and then the actual tithi, like
Okay.
in the year when they left the body. This
Oh,
is new.
yeah. Okay. Vishuva or Vishuva Sankranti means Mesha Sankranti, or the day on which the sun enters the sign Aries. Tula Sankranti is the day on which the sun enters the sign Libra. Both of these days occur only once within a year. The word yoga refers to a certain relationship between the sun and moon as they move in the sky. There are 27 different degrees of yoga, of which the 17th is called Vyatipat. On the day when this occurs, one should perform the Shraddh ceremony. A tithi or lunar day consists of the distance between the longitude of the sun and that of the moon. Sometimes a tithi is less than 24 hours. So just now you said tithi. Now what's a tithi? A tithi is a lunar day, and it consists of distance between the longitude of the sun and that of the moon. So distance between the sun and moon. Okay, so when it starts after sunrise on a certain day and ends before sunrise of the following day, the previous tithi and the following tithi both touch the 24-hour day between the sunrises. This is called Traya Sparsha, or a day touched by some portion of 3 tithis. I'm sorry, it's a little complicated for me, but just please let's hear it as it is. It's a like little technical of how the tithi is calculated. Srila Jiva Goswami has given quotations from many shastras stating that the Shraddh ceremony of oblations to the forefathers should not be performed on Ekadashi Tithi. When the Tithi of the death anniversary falls on the Ekadashi day, the Shraddh ceremony should be held not on Ekadashi, but on the next day, or Dwadashi. So if the Tithi of the death anniversary is on Ekadashi, should be done on Dwadashi. In the Brahma Vaivarta Puran, it is said, Ye Kurvanti Mahipal, Shraddham Chaikadashi Dine, Trayaste Narakam Yanti, Data Bhokta, Cha preraka. If one performs the Shad ceremony of oblations to the forefathers on the Ekadashi Tithi, then the performer, the forefathers for whom the Shad is observed, and the Purohit or the family priest who encourages the ceremony all go to hell. Oh my God. This is Brahma Vaivarth Purana saying that don't do the Shad on a Ekadashi, otherwise everyone goes to hell. The one who's doing the Shad, the one for whom the Shad is being done, and even the Purohit, the priest who's doing it. Okay. Comments? If no, then we go on.
Yeah, not heard of this.
Not heard of. Yeah. Yeah, Narad Muni is saying, but this is what Shad has to be done on so many different days.
So
of
that
the
means
year.
Shad should not be done only on
On the
Ekadashi,
Ekadashi, yeah. But it should be
right?
done on the next day. Yeah. Not on Ekadashi, but on Dwadashi,
Mm.
the next day
Hare,
of the Ekadashi. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Even I don't know about this. My dad also passed on the 15th August 2020. It was Ekadashi also in the same tithi of Ekadashi. And whenever we asked the Maharaj, he always said, do it on the Dwadashi.
Ah, okay. So now you know
I
why
just
it
don't
is.
know the I just don't know the reason, but this is nice. We heard about this that we should be doing on the Dwadashi day.
Mhm.
Good.
Yeah,
Nice, huh? We
yeah,
are aware now, right?
yeah.
Okay. The ete Shri Yasakala
Iti Shri Yasakala
Kala.
Nirnam Shreyo Vivardhana
Nam Shreyo Vivardhanaha
Kuryat Sarvat Maneteshu
Kurvat
Kuryat
Savatmane
Sarvatmane
Teshu
Shu
Shreyo Mogam Tad Ayusha.
Shreya
Shriyo
Mogam Tad Ayusha.
Ayusha.
All of these seasonal times are considered extremely auspicious for humanity. At such times, one should perform all auspicious activities, for by such activities, a human being attains success in his short duration of life. When one comes to the human form of life through natural evolution, one must then take the responsibility for further progress. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 9:25, Yanti Deva Vrata Devan. One who worships the demigods can be promoted to their planets. Yanti Madhyajino Pimam. And if one practices devotional service to the Lord, he goes back home, back to Godhead. So whoever we worship, Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that planet we will go to. If we worship the demigods, we will reach the planet of the demigods. If we worship the ancestors, the Pitra, then we will go to the Pitralok, the ancestors of the demigods. If we worship ghosts and spirits, then we will take birth among such beings. And if we worship Lord Krishna, we will go to Krishna Lok, back home, back to Godhead. In the human form of life, therefore, one is meant to act auspiciously in order to return home, back to Godhead. Because in animal life, we cannot hear Bhagavatam, we will not be able to understand, we will not be able to chant the holy name. So means we cannot do bhakti. We cannot understand that, oh, that we have to go to the spiritual world, this is not our home. Only in human life we can understand this knowledge. And so that's the reason we need to use this human body to engage in bhakti, revive our love for Krishna, go back home, back to Godhead. Devotional service, however, does not depend on material conditions. Ahaituki apratihata, of course, for those who are engaged in fruitive activities on the material platform, the times and seasons mentioned above are extremely congenial. So here Prabhupada is trying to say that, of course, those who worship Krishna, those who engage in devotional service, they will go back home, back to Godhead. But those who are engaged in rituals, rites and rituals, karmakand on the material platform, then Prabhupada is saying that yes, follow this and this is auspicious timings. auspicious activities to be done at this time, to get auspicious result, to go to heavenly planets, to be able to enjoy more like that. So, but one who is a devotee, he does not depend on this. He does devotional service every day, regularly, every day hearing and chanting. Okay. Eshu snanam japo homo
Eshu snanam japo homo
vitam deva dvijarchanam
Vritam deva tujarjanam
Vachan.
pitra deva nirbhutebhyo
Pitradeva nirbhutebhyo
yaddatam tadhi anashwaram.
Yaddat
Yadatam
taddi anashwaram.
During
Hare
this,
Krishna Shilpa.
Hare
So,
Krishna.
from the verse above, I'm just trying to understand. So, some of the rituals that we do on some of the occasions or festivals, we should be following the tithi that it means that way, right?
You mean this verse?
Ahaituki aprati hat. Of
Ahaituki
course.
apratihata is that devotional service has not no material cause. Pure
Okay.
devotional service does not depend on anything material.
Okay, so that means the bhakti, you
Bhakti.
don't see the timing. But
No.
if you're doing any ritualistic or you follow some rituals or
Yeah.
occasions or something, then we must follow the tithi.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right. Because
thank you.
then it's
Hare Krishna.
dependent. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Okay,
dependent.
yeah,
That's right.
thank
You
you.
see,
Hare Krishna. Yeah,
this is why devotional service is so important, because anytime, any place we can chant
yes.
and hear
So
anytime,
this,
any place.
yeah, sorry. So there's a like for Shraddha also, the best I think what you can do is chant in their name, like dedicate that thing chanting for them,
Dedicate the
right?
chanting for
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dedicate
Yes,
chanting.
I even have heard in another lecture that's what it says. That's the best you can do.
Yeah.
The, you know,
Yeah.
uh, sacrificing,
Yeah.
doing something their name. Yeah.
It's the best way that we can help our ancestors chant for them.
Yes.
Because otherwise it's so detailed, so many different
Yeah,
days
yeah.
have to be followed, so many different timings. Now we just heard in
About
one, so many
yeah.
different days are there. Then you have to be careful of the time. And rituals always have to be done in a very proper manner. Otherwise,
Yeah.
they don't get the result of that ritual, Yeah.
Yeah, even so Bhishma Dev, he gave up his body, I think was Uttarayan. So that is Makar Sankranti, is it the same?
Yes, that's right.
Because that's what I know, like Uttarayan I've heard of Bhishma
Yes,
Dev.
that's right. Yeah. In Sindhi, it's called Uttaran.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's that.
Yeah, Uttaran. That's when Bhishma Dev gave up his body. Yeah. He waited because he had that power, he's so
Yes,
powerful.
yeah, yeah.
Although he didn't have to. Although he didn't have to, because Krishna was standing in front of him.
Mm.
When he gave up his body, Krishna was looking at him. He was looking at Krishna. But yet he just did it. Bhishmadev is a pure devotee.
So yeah.
So, like in Bhagavad Gita, also in the 8th chapter is mentioned, right? That the yogis, they wait for auspicious
But
time.
yes, yes,
So, over there,
yeah.
Prabhupada also mentions that a devotee, he does not care what time it is, because how can we
Mm.
control? We don't have the capability to control when we die.
Yeah.
So, the devotee, he just depends on Krishna. Whatever is good for him, Krishna will take care. He just engages in devotional service.
Yeah. Also, I read somewhere that he gave the Vishnu Sahasranam Sahasranam to Yudhishthira Maharaj on
Yes,
this day. Yeah.
It comes in Mahabharata, Vishnu Sahasranam. Yeah, 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu.
1,000 names. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there is a story in that connection of Lord Shiva and Parvati Devi. Lord Shiva was telling Parvati Devi, okay, give me my lunch. I'm hungry. Parvati Devi said, please wait. I still have to chant my Vishnu Sahasranam. And then Lord Shiva, he chants one verse now. Namo, Namo, Rame, Namo. How does it go? Anyway, the purpose, the meaning of that verse is that 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu equal to one name of Lord Ram.
Ram, yeah. Right.
You know, so he was telling you just chant one time Lord Ram and finish. Your 1,000 names is chanted. Yeah.
And I think 3 times saying Ram is
Yeah.
equal to 1 time saying Krishna. Something
Jai.
like that.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. So see how compassionate Krishna is. He knows,
And,
he knows like we Kalyug people, we are lazy people, don't have much time because there's so many things to do. We have so many things to do, right? Don't have much time. So he said, okay, just chant my name. Shortest and the easiest.
just see, we have all the facilities, but still we say, like, we don't have time. Why? That's the
Yeah.
thing. Even I
Yeah.
feel like so every time I say, oh, I wish I had more time. I have more time.
Then rather you can wish to Krishna to help you chant. Pray for that.
Yeah.
Krishna, please
So
help
that's
me.
not
I
no,
want to
like you
chant.
want to do your chanting, then I said, but the time is just running out. Like, how?
Because,
Not getting.
because what may happen, you may pray for time, but again, that time, we don't know how we will use it. So rather just pray. I mean, at least that's what I'm thinking for myself nowadays. So I'm sharing with you.
Oh,
So, because we may get the time again, we may do something, we may get busy,
something else.
somebody's calling. So rather, why not pray, Krishna, help me to chant your name?
Okay, yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, to ask rather than asking for time. I wish I had
Yeah.
more time.
Yeah. I mean, this is something that, I've been thinking of, and so I'm just sharing it with you. I hope that's
Mm,
okay. So just directly ask him
Next
that,
year.
okay, please help me to chant properly. Please help me to focus when I'm chanting. Please help me not to
Yes,
get distracted. Please help me to
right.
chant.
And there are so many distractions too. So rather pray for that. Yeah, right.
So we can
Yeah,
pray to Krishna.
yeah.
Yeah. Especially in this time, this Kartik month.
Mm,
Radharani and Krishna are more in a merciful mood in this month. So can take advantage of this month.
mm,
Okay. Stop here for today.
yeah.
Yes.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila
Jai,
Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur
Jai,
Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare
Jai.
Krishna. Thank you all for listening and enjoying.